7 sins and so forth. Difficult task, but it's a comedy, so there's a, I think, a happy ending. You never know. After West Side Story was performed sometime, Prince actually wanted to get the rights to Ring Around the Moon so that they could do a musical. They were rejected twice. So I applied and I got it, so here we have it. Well, it's teamwork to get a play going, and I would just like to thank one of the people. It is the last night, and my heart is brimming with thanks to all the people who helped. I won't be able to name everybody, but these are people that we need to mention, and this was the last time I So, for the set construction, I would like to thank Rich Giles. I would like to thank Janine and Martin Ping for their artistry, for their work that they put into. For example, these beautiful colors, these dyed fabrics over here. Janine dyed it, it was wonderful. And in between, if you dream away, then you can just dream into the beautiful, beautiful fabric. The lights at the last moment, and we help with all sorts of things, like for example, putting these things up there, and I would sit down there and say, a little bit higher, now 2 inches more, left, now left, right, things like that. So, thank you, Mark. To thank Pamela the Gator, Anne Sapkowski, and Monica Miller for the costumes. Wonderful job on the costumes. And many other things. For example, Pamela the Gator brought plants in, and they also helped to make up together with Naomi and Kathy Johansson and others as well. And it was a really good mood back then. It was so good that they began to put makeup on themselves. Otherwise, I would have makeup all over me as well. Okay, and I would like to thank Stella Elliston, who did all sorts of things. Everything you can think of, she was there all the time. Here and there, and help with props and so forth. So, big and also musicians. How can we forget the musicians? I should mention that Katie Yeko got sick, very sick, and she couldn't. So she worked all this time to be performed, and then she got sick, and she is not able to perform. So we will think of her. I'd like to thank my wife very much for working in every single sphere with the design of the set, with makeup, with costumes, with learning the lines, with moral support, with music as well, everything. So.
How about last night, Joshua? Did the same thing happen?
I'm sorry, I can't deny it, Mr. Hugo, but the same thing did.
My brother slept all night under her window?
Yes, Mr. Hugo, under both her windows. For the past 5 nights, Mr. Frederick has gone to bed in a rhododendron bush. You know, sir, the one on the south side of the west wing, beside the statue they call Calliope. A classical character, sir. Every morning, the housemaid finds his bed unrumpled, and the gardener finds the rhododendron bush rumpled. Well, it gives them quite a jolt, as who wouldn't it? I try to make light of it, so as to keep them in the dark. But one day they will talk, and then Madame will know about everything.
Have you ever been in love, Joshua?
Now, sir, think. I've been in Madame's service for 30 years. I'm too old.
Yes. But before that?
I was too young.
Well, Joshua, mine's the age for it. I fall in love as a matter of routine. Not ludicrously like my brother.
No, sir. Mr. Frederick hasn't your style at all.
And yet we're the same age. It's odd, isn't it?
You're 10 minutes older, sir. Remember that.
Yes, I know. But who would have thought that those 10 minutes would have taught me so much about women?
The young lady knows she can do whatever she likes with your brother, sir.
Yes. I scheme the scheme.
I'm glad to hear that, sir.
I woke up early this morning because I decided to take action. This dawn is the dawn of the unexpected. What time is it, Joshua?
12 o'clock, sir.
Very good. By 12:30, I shall begin to move big on the horizon.
Oh, and Mr. Hugo, sir. I attempted to explain away the rhododendrons by informing the gardener that a wolf had been seen, making depredations on the vicinity, sir. I told him not to mention this to anyone, as it might occasion the guests a comprehensible alarm. Thank you, sir. Mr. Frederick, sir.
Miss Diana come down yet?
Not yet, sir.
Do I look tired, Joshua?
If I may be allowed to be frank, sir, yes, you do.
Well, you're quite mistaken. I've never slept better.
I think I should inform you, sir, that the gardener intends to set wolf traps in the rhododendrons.
It's no matter. I'll sleep in the azaleas.
And the housemaid, sir, the one who attends to the west wing, she's been making remarks of horrid dissatisfaction. She came to me quite ready to drop.
Well, tell her next time to drop into my bed if she would be so good, and untidy it herself.
Mr. Frederick.
Why not? She's charming, and once she's admitted sufficiently, she'll be able to make it again. Everything will seem just as usual.
Very good, sir.
Oh, Diana, it's been like a lifetime since yesterday.
Which one of you is next?
Diana, that's not a nice thing to ask me.
Oh, yes, it is you. You're looking at me like a little lost dog again. Did you get out of the wrong side of the rhododendrons? At first you looked so triumphant, I thought you were.
If you prefer him to me, I shall go away and die.
Dear Frederick, you know I should only mistake you by accident. You're so alike.
Our hearts aren't alike.
No, that's true. But imagine me alone in the park one evening. I hear the twigs cracking behind me, and what sounds like your step. Two arms go around me, and they feel like your arms. A mouth kisses me, and it feels like your mouth. How am I to have time to know to write hard, Frederick?
But, Diane, I never put my arms around you in the park.
Are you sure?
Quite sure. It was my brother, looking like me on purpose. It was my double crossing me again. I must find him.
Now, dear Frederick, don't go rushing to conclusions. I've made it up. No one's been kissing me.
I beg your pardon. I completely believe you. But if Hugo loved you, I should kill myself.
That would be terrible. I should never know which one of you is dead. Of course, it would be a great help to your brother, who would only have to drop a few tears for you at your funeral and then come and whisper in my ear, "Shh, don't tell anyone. You made a great mistake. This is really Hugo's funeral." What should I say to that?
But you couldn't be deceived for a moment, could you? If I were so like Hugo, in word and thought and deed, I should be Hugo.
Yes, that's true.
Diana, it's Hugo you love. Goodbye.
Are you mad? I hate him. Kiss me.
Diana?
Kiss me, you lost dog, and I'll help you find your way home.
Anything. He's capable of absolutely anything.
But dear heart, how can he suspect us? We've been so careful.
I tell you, I wouldn't trust this fellow Hugo an inch. Yesterday, he giggled at me, quite noticeably as I went past him. Why should he have giggled if he didn't know all about us?
When did he giggle?
Last night, on the terrace after dinner.
Last night, we were all there together. He choked himself on a cigar smoke. He was coughing.
He was coughing to disguise his giggle, but that didn't fool me for a moment.
Anyway, why should this boy, who has absolutely nothing to do with me, giggle because he's found out that we're having an affair?
Never mind why. Mistrust him. To begin with, there is this fantastic likeness to his brother.
He can't help it.
Well, my dear Dorothy, if he had any sense of propriety, he would never allow it to go on. He revels in it. He copies his brother's clothes.
No, dear. Frederick copies his.
Well, it's the same thing. Now, I have 8 brothers.
And they all exactly like you?
Not at all.
I see. Then this does not help to convince me why this boy would say anything to Messerschmitt.
Say anything? No. But little jokes and innuendos while we were all in the drawing room? Yes. A mysterious chuckle in the middle of a meal. Or a giggle like the one you thought was choking him on cigar smoke? Yes, most certainly.
Little jokes and chuckles will pass right over Messerschmitt's head. He suffers from terribly poor reception.
It is we who would suffer poor reception if once you do. Don't forget, you are his mistress and I am his private secretary. We are both completely dependent on your magnate.
Dearest heart, you use the most curious words.
Magnate?
No,
Private secretary?
no. Patrice, darling, I know I give him the pleasure of paying my bills. And every night I let him trail along to my room, kiss my hand. That means nothing. You mean everything. I'm guessing that I love you. Tell me, do you love me too? I'm guessing that I need you, but it's I do. Need you everywhere.
In your eyes I read such strange things, and I'm guessing that you love me. I'm confessing that I'm worried, yes dear I am. Dorothy, do be careful. We are in the winter garden.
On a lovely spring morning.
This season is immaterial. All this glass. Everyone can see us. We are completely exposed.
Danger? Oh, that's wonderful. I love it. I like being mad best. Did I ever tell you about that evening in Monte Carlo when I went to a little dark-side cafe? Absolutely naked, except for my cloak and my diamonds. And quite alone, too, amongst all those drunken groups.
At Monte Carlo?
Little dockside cafe, where the croupiers sip a secret bock between sessions. I just smiled to see how their hands shook when they raised their glasses. So let him come. Let him catch us. Let him murder us. I shall drive him off with a lash of contempt. It'll be absolutely magnificent.
Yes, Dorothy.
And don't forget, Patrice, you come from a most distinguished family. And I, after all, am Lady India. He should feel honored that we take the trouble to infuriate him. Money isn't everything.
Oodles, oodles, oodles. Whatever do you mean, Hugo, that Mr. Messerschmitt has oodles?
He's as rich as Croesus.
Oh, I see. But what does he do with them all?
Eats noodles.
You're being altogether too playful, Hugo.
Oh yes, it's very true. Every meal, without butter and without salt. He drinks water.
How very spectacular. And you tell me that Dorothy in here is ruining him.
Ah, she would be if she could be. It's too much, even for her.
You're a scaremonger, Hugo, and I won't listen to you. You forget that I'm your aunt, and India's aunt. I'm an elderly woman, and I never listen to anyone. Now, between ourselves, do you really imagine he's keeping us?
Between ourselves, we had a shadow of doubt.
It's monstrous, Hugo, humiliating.
Utterly monstrous. But between ourselves, why humiliate her?
She is a Fitzhenry, and through me, a Mortis. If only your Uncle Anthony were alive, it would kill him. Hugo, people are so unkind. They will say, I invited Dorothy in this nabob, at the same time on purpose. They'll say, I'm a party to it, or so should I.
Everyone knows you invited Mr. Messerschmitt and his daughter because Frederick asked you to. He's going to announce his engagement to her tomorrow.
Yes, there's another puppy-witted piece of folly. Fancy becoming so infatuated with that girl he even has to ask her to marry him. When he was little, he always used to look so sad and resigned when he came to kiss me on Christmas morning. I used to call him St. Pancras. And now the poor lamb's being sacrificed. Can you bear to think of him being delivered over, gagged and bound, in his mourning coat and gardenia, to this Diana Messerschmitt and her millions?
No, Aunt.
No, I should think not. If it had been you, it would have been different. I love it when the lamb turns around and eats up the high priest. But with poor little Frederick, it won't even be fun.
If the marriage takes place, Aunt.
And who can prevent it now?
Who knows her?
Here's your handkerchief, madam. Oh, thank you, my dear. Trundle me into the sun, if you will. Good morning, dear Romanville.
My dear friend.
Good morning, Mr. Messerschmitt. Haven't had a good night's rest.
I never sleep alone.
Neither do I. We must make an appointment with one another and gossip, while the rest of them snore. We can say the most terrible things about them. It will help to kill time. It takes such a lot of killing that animal, don't you think? I'm a wicked person, Mr. Messerschmidt. Are you?
I'm told so, Mom.
How nice. We can be wicked together. That will amuse me very much. Push dear, trundle me away. I told you I wanted to be in the sun. Oh, Mr. Messerschmidt, my butler tells me you only eat noodles.
Yes, that is so. Without butter and without salt.
And I believe you're a great friend of my niece Dorothy.
Yes, I have the pleasure of Lady India's friendship.
Insomnia, Dorothy, and nothing but noodles. What a very interesting life.
Her train gets in at 12:30. No, it certainly does. I'm convinced it is all a great mistake. It's making me ill with her. Are you sure you're not mad? Quite sure. How about you?
Not at all sure. But suppose I don't cooperate.
A scandal, Romeo. What scandal? My relationship with this girl is absolutely irreproachable. Suppose I say to my aunt, our dear friend Romeo, feeling the approach of springtime in the air, wishing to make his visit to a cheerful one, especially little friends, they are an innocent flirt. He visits her secretly 3 times a week. What do you say then?
That it isn't true. That I'm interested in this girl only as I'm interested in butterflies. And old furniture. Is it my fault if I'm known as a patron of the arts?
No.
The child needed a holiday before going back into the ballet. She was rather pale. You must understand that she was extremely pale. Anybody would have done the same thing. It's entirely a question of common humanity. I said to her, come and spend a few days at Hawthorne with your mother. Who, for goodness sakes, don't you trouble me, because I gave a holiday to a young girl who needs one. Certainly not your good aunt, who buttonholes me every year for her local charities.
To a poor girl who needs a vacation, no. But to your mistress, remain the love. You know my aunt.
She isn't my mistress. I assure you she isn't. Not the least bit.
Who's going to believe you?
Everybody, because it's true.
That's not likely.
So, according to you, the truth means nothing.
Nothing, dear boy. If no one believes it. Let's go amiably eat lunch. They'll be here any minute now. I've warned Joshua and he'll let me know. As soon as I can, as soon as possible. And then Joshua can announce the arrival of your niece to my aunt during the talk.
But, suppose my real niece arrives on the same train.
Not likely. I sent her a telegram from you. You told her that my aunt's invitation had been canceled for the time being.
It's a trap. And all because you caught me drinking an innocent orangeade with this little girl in a cake shop in St. Fleur.
Exactly.
You're the devil.
Almost. Cigarette holder, which wins me over the shoulder. She digs me. I'll carry my Santa Claus. Baby, shall we go? I'm skipping, careful of me, go. You're flipping, sweet snatching, my Santa Claus. She's nobody's fool, so I'm taking it cool as can be. I'll give it a whirl, but I ain't no girl, can it be? Sweet Cherokee, I have no phone number. Well, you know, doing well, I'm boss with Nuno. I'll carry my Santa Claus.
Would you at least tell me what you're up to?
The huge and dark design. So into lunch, Romeo. You should know the rest before you're too much.
If the ladies would be so good as to take a seat, I will inform Mr. Hugo of their arrival.
Isn't it luxurious, Isabel? Such taste, such grandeur. Now this is the atmosphere where I really feel myself.
Yes, Mother.
Some people, you know, can only breathe when there's luxury or beauty. Take luxury away from them, and they go flightless.
Yes, Mother.
Always remember, Isabel, Your grandfather was the biggest Waldorf dealer in the town. We even had 2 servants at the same time. Not including shop assistants, of course. When I was your age, your grandmother would have never let me go out alone.
No, Mother.
No. The maid always followed 3 steps behind me. 3 steps. It was wonderful.
Yes, Mother.
Did you see the butler?
Yes, Mother.
That dignity, that sort of quilted voice, extremely polite, yet slightly scornful. Such a perfect manner. If the ladies would be so good as to take a seat. To take a seat. Did you see how perfectly he chose his words? You know, dear, in my dreams of you, there's always been a butler like that in the background.
Oh, Mother. Don't know it.
Oh, yes. It's been a dream of mine that you shall have everything I've missed. I don't say very much, I know. But for instance, when I see your hands getting rough and red from washing up.
Now, please, Mother.
And I know it could never mean anything to you, for you haven't my sensitive nature. And I know I don't help you as much as I should. If only I were a little stronger. But even so, I have to think of the house. I must preserve my hands for my piano. And then I never knew what it was to want for anything when I was a girl. So different from you. Poor child. One mustn't expect you to understand me. You roll up your sleeves, you sing a little something, and abracadabra, everything's done. You think no more about it.
It's the best way, Mother.
And I admire you for it. But with my upbringing and all my dreams came to nothing, I could never do it. I still have my dreams. But now they're for you, Isabel. A quite different future for you. A future of luxury and beauty. A little quarters of this for mother. I can see a quite different future for you. And maybe it won't come true. But I can dream. Can't I pretend like the future is lucky? Even You're artistic. You're pretty. A little more commonplace than I was. Perhaps that's over to your father. But interested in character, you will certainly be summer. I know you will. What do you suppose the young man wants of your boy?
Thank you for being so punctual.
Not at all. Punctuality is the politest of all things. I always think, and I'm sure you'll agree.
Yes, indeed. And this is Miss Isabel. I wasn't mistaken.
She's a charming child.
More than charming.
Mr. Romainville must have spoken of her to you.
He has indeed.
He's one of our dear Parisian friends.
Yes, I know. And how do you feel about this little adventure, Isabel? The most important thing is for you to enjoy it.
She's thrilled about it.
All Mr. Romainville said was that you had asked us up to your house this evening.
Nothing else?
No, nothing.
Why would you think I would want to bring you here?
I don't know. To dance, I expect. I'm a dancer.
Not only to dance.
Not only to dance, well now you're really beginning to make me quite inquisitive.
There's a ball being held in this house tonight. I need you here to be beautiful. More beautiful, in fact, than anyone else.
I?
Yes. Are you afraid?
A little bit. I am not very beautiful, and so
I rang up Paris this morning. Rosetta Sirs are sending some dresses, and they're best fitters. The first note of the violins, you will be ready.
But what am I supposed to do?
Only to go serenely through the night like a butterfly venturing on moonlight. The first light of day, we will set you free. The engagement will be paid for in the usual way. She may keep the dress.
Ah, but we didn't think...
But I thought. Now I must go back to the dining room, or they'll begin to wonder where I am. I'm sorry I can't make it less of a mystery. Joshua here will show you to your rooms. You shall have supper brought up to you. As soon as I can, I shall come out and tell you what I want you to do.
If the ladies would be so good as to follow me.
Thank you. Such a distinguished boy. Don't you think, dear? Did you notice, dear, how he kissed my hand? Wake up, dear. Are you dreaming?
No, Mother. Is he the one they call Hugo? Is he the one who invited us here?
Well, of course he is. So handsome, don't you think? Now come along, we're keeping the butler waiting. Somewhere
Capulet! What on earth can she be up to? Capulet! Really, how marooned one is away from a bell rope. Thank heaven, I seem to be on some sort of navigation route. Joshua, put into land for a moment, my dear man, and rescue me. I was washed up here 15 minutes ago, and I haven't seen a living creature since.
Not one, madam.
Not one, and they say the world is overpopulated. I sent Mademoiselle Capulet to fetch the list of guests out of my bureau. I might have asked her to restock the lake with carp the time it's taken. Oh, there you are at last, Capulet. You left me here with a broken brick. Look, and I've had nothing to do but go over all my shortcomings twice. If they'd gone any longer, I should have started to regret them. Where have you been?
You said the list is in the left-hand bottom drawer, madam, but it was in the top-hand right drawer.
That's just another way of looking at it. Now, well, get to work. I must try and remember who all these names belong to. It is so difficult. Nowadays, no one has any proper sense of family. People have perfectly good names, and then go and produce the most unpredictable faces to go with them. I don't know how they expect to be recognized, and worse still, it encourages all those terrible people to go to parties without being asked. I remember an evening at the Baroness Crosby's Rose. Where is everyone? Capulet? Are you listening? I was sent. I remember an evening at the Baroness Crosby's Rose when... Well, mend me. Joshua! I remember an evening at the Baroness Crosby's Rose when there were so many uninvited guests. The Baroness imagined she must be at someone else's party and spent most of the evening looking for a hostess to say goodbye. Now, do that. Deliverance. Now, Joshua, I don't want an unfortunate episode like that. Do you understand, Joshua? We don't want any mistakes.
Certainly not, madam. Though, as madam says, faces these days have taken a haphazard turn. Most inconsiderate.
You shall have to look into them very carefully. And so shall I. If one stares fixedly at an interloper's frontal bone, fixedly, Joshua, for a count of 9, a look of guilt will steal over it at once. Remember that. I intend to stare myself with great penetration, whatever the occasion offers.
I hope and trust, madam, that no such occasional offering will ensue. It would be a cloud on an otherwise evening of nice and aristocratic joy, which none of us should like to have to denounce.
You're crumbling into a benevolent old man, Joshua. Denounce him. That's delicious. And I depend on you to see that we have no trespasses. Come along, and we'll make the last inspection of the battlefield. Well, wheel, Capulet. Wheel, my dear.
I feel so excited. Really, I do. Like a little yeasty bun in a good oven.
Come on. Ah, yes, I remember. Like a rather half-hearted resolution.
All right, now, walk towards me. Turn. Walk away again. You're perfect. What on earth are you trembling for?
Scared?
Scared of what? Going to a party?
Yes, I suppose so. For the violins tuning up, and all the people in the house at this moment getting ready for the great occasion. I'm scared of the mystery you're making of it.
Scared of me?
Very much.
You think I'm going to drag you into some shameful scene or other? Romeo has been maligning me.
He said that.
And of course you believed him.
No.
You should have believed him. When you discover what I've planned for this evening, you'll think I'm much worse than Romeo imagines. You mustn't be afraid of bad people. They're just poor, complicated devils like everyone else. It's the fools that are forming them. Ah, and here he is. We were just talking about you. How are you this evening?
Very poorly. Very poorly indeed. I've been looking forward to this party very much. Now I feel as if I'm going to an execution. I can't see why you want to go on with it.
He's afraid you'll lose your head amongst the knives and forks. We'll use the desserts we run the foy box. and all leap to their feet and say, she's not Romeo's niece, she's an imposter. Walk away, little Cur. There's a niece for you. Between ourselves, dear man, what's your niece really like?
She's a rather plain girl. Her nose, perhaps, not as small as others. She has an extremely nice character.
Well, it's clearly high time you replaced her. Look at this girl, in a dress like the smoke on bonfires. Have you ever seen a niece more transparent, less of this world, and so entirely fashioned for singular nights dancing in the early summer?
Hold yourself upright. When you're presented to people, never address them by their titles. Always wait for an older person to speak to you.
My dear man, Isabel's been waiting for older people to speak to her in the womb. My aunt has an infallible instinct for quality. She's given her room looking out on the garden. If she hadn't had the highest opinion of her, she would have given her room facing the park.
That's all. I'm facing the park.
So you see what I mean?
Yeah, come in. I couldn't even wait for that. I simply had to come see the dress.
I thought it was agreed you should stay in your room. We don't want people asking who you are.
I came on tiptoe the whole way. You would have thought I was a shadow. I'm dying of fear. Oh, how wonderfully elegant. Oh gosh. Hold yourself up straight, Tina. What good taste. I'm quite sure this baby girl chose it himself.
Not at all. You're talking.
But I'm sure you had something to do with it. Because the child guessed your taste and chose to please you. Mother! Turn around here. Once again. Hold yourself up. She's a constant surprise to me. Dressed, I think she's such a skinny galley. Undressed, she's almost plump. Rasputin, her ballet master, said it's quite simply because she was well built. As a matter of fact, and I don't just say this because I'm her mother, she has very good legs. This dear gentleman can hand me out, can't you?
She still looks extremely pale. Yes, we should get her a tonic. That's it, a splendid tonic.
How can you say so? Look at her. She's as pink as a strawberry.
Yes, the country air has done some good already. You see, there's nothing quite like the country. Nothing like it.
How can you say so? The country is death to her. And to me, we're just two Parisian flowers, two hothouse flowers, two artists. In the country, we just wait to be eaten by sheep. Your dear friend insisted we come.
Her health comes first. Her health comes first.
Listen to domineering. His friends must be exactly as he says. He couldn't bear not to have them with him. When he knew he was coming here, he wouldn't rest till the child came too.
She looked extremely pale, I said to myself.
Yes, and we forgive you, because we know you do it out of friendship, just as you did when you made her learn to swim.
Everybody should learn to swim.
He came to the basket to watch her one day, and found him out taking his clothes off.
Didn't I say so? Isn't that proof that everybody should learn to swim? But we've chatted long enough. Hugo must be wanting to give Isabel her instructions, and I know you want to see the carriages arrive. You can come up to my room. It faces north, but you can see everybody who comes to the door.
Yes, that's it. We'll leave them alone together to talk. Though I'm burning with curiosity to know what the mystery's all about, Isabel will tell me tomorrow. Come along, then. I shall hide away like a dilapidated old moth who's been told not to dance around the candles.
That's right, like a dilapidated old moth. Off we go. I can hear the first carriages arriving already.
You shall have supper brought up to you.
Just a crust. A crust and a glass of water for 4 little sinners. Enjoy yourself, unfortunate girl. I was pleasure once. And not so long ago, either. Oh, she looks charming. Charming.
And she's blushing.
With embarrassment.
Needlessly.
It's easy enough to speak. My cheeks are burning and my eyes sting, and there's a lump in my throat. I should like to be dead.
She amuses me.
She might amuse me, too. If only...
You never heard what they call society. Putting up the bidding for her daughter. It would be indignant no longer. Your mother is discretion itself.
Not plump, nor skinny, and I haven't very nice legs. I don't want to stay here.
You can't go yet.
I feel so ashamed.
Why? Because this party and the slight air of mystery I'm making of it has kindled your mother's imagination. Because she likes to think I'm in love with you and throws you at my head. It's most natural. I'm rich. I belong to an old family. And ever since I've been married to one, I've heard mothers hammering out that old tune. You're ashamed because of me. Save your blushes. I've heard the tune so often I'm deaf.
But I can still hear it.
Yes, I can see that must be unpleasant for you. I'm sorry.
Have you considered Romainville?
Oh, no, I never do that. Romainville is scrupulous and considerate, not considerable. I met you with you at a cake shop in St. Fleur, and it occurred to me that you might come in useful this evening. That's all.
I think you should know.
I don't want to know anything else at all.
I see. I only wanted to tell you. Dear, how silly of me. I've become crying. Now I shall have to start my face all over again. You will excuse me a moment?
Yes, of course. Joshua, does anyone suspect anything?
No one, sir. The dress shop people and the shoe shop person have went, sir, unobserved. So many outside individuals here tonight.
Can you keep your eye on the mother?
As far as the human eye can be kept, sir. I beg your pardon, sir, but she escaped my notice just now. What with all the preparations for
It
the
should be all right, as long as she'll content herself with trotting between here and her room. She'll worry me considerably once the evening has really begun. Flick, flick.
Very good, sir. Mr. Hugo, sir, supposing she were to scream, we have to look all eventualities in the face.
Have I told you to shut her in? Promise her 200 francs extra.
Certainly, sir. Excuse me, sir, but do you think this amount will be enough to quench this particular individual, sir?
Quite sufficient.
Very good, sir.
Everything all right again?
Yes. No signs of tears now.
It's very useful to be able to disappear and come back with new eyes and a fresh smile. Now, it's time I explain it.
High time.
I had to get to know you a little first. If you had been a fool, I should have thought up a story for you. Something picturesque and sentimental. A snip for a housewife's magazine. Once in a very great while, something conventional, too threadbare. A man is left standing stupidly with his intelligence on his arm. Much like your old umbrella you hadn't expected to use. So much the worse for me. I will have to talk without preparation.
I'm so sorry.
Not at all. I should have been able to tell at a glance. You're not a fool. You have simplicity. You're not romantic. You're tender. You're not hard. You're exact. Every one of these is almost like the other, but in fact, they're opposites. This will teach me to look carelessly at girls in cake shops. I planned for everything except one. I didn't expect you to look at me with such penetrating eyes.
If it upsets you, I can shut them.
Not at all. I can cut the preamble and get to the point. I have a brother who is addled with love for a young, rich, beautiful girl. This party is in her honor.
And she doesn't love him?
She's engaged to him, which means that she gives him the lips 2 or 3 times a day, lets him have occasional contact with a lukewarm hand, while she turns her mind on other matters. She makes all the loving gestures expected of her. She even tells him she loves him, but she doesn't.
Does she love someone else?
I should think she's quite incapable of loving anybody. But, as she's a little multi-millionaire, badly spoiled, blown sky high by every breeze of a wind, she's made herself believe, yes, that she is in love with someone else.
And that person...
As you so quickly guessed, myself. You'll tell me she must be extremely stupid, as my brother is at least 1,000 times nicer than I am.
What does he look like?
See, that's the devil preparing speeches in advance. I've forgotten to tell you the most important thing. We're twins.
They look like each other?
Physically, we're so alike it's neither permissible nor proper. But morally? Morally, we're as different as day and night. My brother is good, kind, sensible, and intelligent. And I'm the reverse. But, nevertheless, she loves me and not him.
And you?
I?
You love her, perhaps?
I love nobody. That's why I can plan this evening's little comedy with complete serenity. I'm playing politics tonight. I deflect the influence of the stars. The stars twinkling up there, without an inkling of what's going to happen tonight. Now, this is what I want you to do.
Tell me.
To begin with, questioning obedience. Keep your eyes on me at all times. I can only give you the broad outline. The details will have to be worked out as the evening goes on. Don't be afraid. I will always be near you. I shall be behind a screen. I shall be behind a sofa where you go to sit with your partner. I shall be behind the tablecloth. Or lurking in a shadow in the garden. Don't be afraid. I shall always be with you, watching you, whispering my orders to you. All you've got to do is to become a center of attention. The party must revolve around you, and no one else.
You are expecting too much. I can never do it.
I can do it. Laugh when you want to laugh. Speak when you want to speak. If you want to be alone, I shall expound you brilliantly. I will make everything you say or do seem extravagant and witty. I shall make them all think I am in love with you.
Will you?
You will all make them think you are in love with my brother.
If your brother's so in love with this other girl, he won't even look at me.
Being a fool, perhaps he won't. But even if he never takes his eyes off Diana, her eyes will tell him that you are the beauty of the evening. She will be so jealous.
It's going to make him love her all the more.
Really? You think so? No, I've got it all planned out. My brother will love you. Diana isn't remotely the sort of girl he would want to love. He's suffering in his sleep, walking along a parapet of infatuation, and we will wait.
But what if he should die of it?
Whoever died of love?
Hugo! Hugo! There you are. There you are. I've been looking everywhere for you. Catastrophe!
Catastrophe? What do you mean catastrophe?
My dear boy, the whole idea's exploded! Thank God.
What are you talking about?
I was shepherding your mother back to her room, the lying in the corridors being dark. When I turned a corner, slap into the Capulet,
Capulet?
his aunt's companion.
You passed it off, all right?
I passed right on, but what did they do? Like a pair of idiots, they threw themselves into each other's arms and burst into tears. It seems they took piano lessons together at the Marlborough Conservatory. They've been thinking each other dead for 20 years. But astonishingly, they're alive. I was completely helpless. They're there, still, looped around each other's necks, telling their life stories. Thank God they're both talking at once, and neither knows what the other is talking about. There's only one thing for it. Flight. Go up and change. I shall say in case an ill. You had a telegram. Your grandmother's had a stroke. I'll say something or other. I've got an imagination too. Go up and change, for goodness sakes.
Stay down here. I forbid you to go.
Have you heard my little piece of excitement?
Yes. What exactly did you do the same?
Oh, my dears, what bliss there can be in a friendship. Often really sweet with Gerald and Capulet, haven't you, dear? I thought she was dead, but she's alive. Dear, sweet soul. What have I been saying to her? Why, everything, everything.
What do you mean everything?
You know, everything. My unhappy marriage, the end of my artistic career. In fact, all my little disappointments. You don't know what Geraldine has been to me. Both of us with our long hair. We were always taken as my sisters.
Let's get to the point. What exactly have you said?
Oh, nothing. Words, foolishness, daydreams. I said you were in love with my little girl and you wanted to bring her here without a lot to do. So you were pretending she was Mr. Romando's niece.
Mother, how could you?
Good heavens, my dear Hugo. But now your aunt knows the whole thing. I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm leaving. It's a pity I shall never be able to come here again. Our whole lives get altered by accidents. Go up and change, for goodness sakes.
I must find Capulet. Tell her to keep her mouth shut.
Where are you off to, Hugo dear?
Nowhere in particular.
It's not the hidden on her cul-de-sac. I've come to see my young guest. Why hide her away in this holy corner? I congratulate you, my dear friend.
Congratulate me? Why congratulate me?
She is very charming.
No.
No.
Yes.
Is she well and happy?
Not just now. Rather dead.
What nonsense are you talking? Her cheeks are like roses. One dance will put her on top of the world.
She's afraid of getting a telegram.
That's a curious anxiety. That's a very pretty dress you're wearing. That you're present to her, you generous man.
Certainly not.
I hope you like your room, my dear. Tomorrow morning, you'll get the very first of the sunshine. Did you enjoy yourself this evening? Oh, yes. Who was it told me this was your first ball?
It wasn't I.
Was it you, Hugo? No, of course not. You don't know her. I hope someone has introduced you.
Yes, Aunt. Someone has introduced us.
She's entrancing, isn't she?
Entrancing.
Why don't you ask her to dance and play the first waltz?
Yes, I was about it. Maybe the first waltz. She's bluffing. She doesn't know a thing. She knows everything.
She is exquisite, she is pretty, and she's well bred. How is it, Romanville, that you never talked about her to me?
I can't explain it. Not even to myself.
Let me think now. On her mother's side, if my memory serves, she's a dandine dundee.
Yes, Mother.
And she's connected with the Rochemersons.
Perhaps.
If she's connected with the Rochemersons, she must also be a Calzabon.
She must be.
My
But
poor Antony was a Calzabon through the Marseusais and the Villa Villets. So he would have been, as it were, a slight relation of hers, if he had lived.
as it were. But as it is, he is dead.
But I'm still alive, Romanville, and I like to be quite clear about relationships. It's very important that I can see exactly how this girl fits in. Now, you were saying her mother was a fille promenade is dead.
Dead.
Her mother's cousin, then, one of the Laplaces?
Also dead.
The one I went to school with? I don't mean the younger one.
Dead. Dead.
Both of them?
Both of them.
And on her father's side, the Dupont Bitard family.
All dead.
She's living in the
I told them I had lost my boa. Oh, to see you, the thing I really see, it's like a dream. It is, isn't it? It really is. The whole thing is such a romance. It really is.
He worships her, you can see in every look he gave.
And he's absurdly rich. It really is a romance.
And handsome as a lion, too. You must help me, my dear, my little girl will die of it.
I'll do anything and everything. It really is a romance. Ah, dear, our little wild whirling bees at Malvern. Do you remember them? The K-Shop Mary's Labo?
And the ice cream at Control.
And the first duet we ever played together for that charity concert. That waltz. That's the very waltz.
All my heart is
something else put together. Let's talk no more about it. You've been quite happy, Captain, without a face. You've been respected and you've been appreciated. What could be nicer than that?
On evenings like this, when there's music and young people dancing underneath the chandeliers, I feel something indescribable in the air.
Then don't attempt to describe it. It's much too late. You really have nothing to grumble about. And there's always the life to come. A dull life in this world is a splendid recommendation for the next. You will be hobnobbing with the blessed, while I'm roasting over a slow fire for 2,000 or 3,000 years. Perhaps it won't take so long.
God's mercy is everywhere.
Certainly, but he must abide by what he says, you know. Otherwise, the just, like you, who have staked everything on it, are going to feel very badly let down. Suppose a rumor started circulating among the sheep that the goats were going to be pardoned as well. They'd use such bad language they'd get themselves damned on the spot. Don't you think it would be rather comic?
You can't really think that, man.
Why not? I can think anything I like. It's all I have left to do. Push me near the doors where I can see the fisting of little fools. Is that Romanville's niece dancing with my nephew?
Yes, madam.
She has a very unusual grace. The only woman who is being herself. Why didn't Romanville bring her here before?
She's so graceful. Really, she is, isn't she? She has such, what shall I say?
Whatever you care to, dear, I'm not listening. I think you and I need a music this evening. Now, what can we think of to liven ourselves up?
A cotillion?
A cotillion. That is so like you. You couldn't have suggested anything sillier. Except the ball itself. Look at them, twirling and twiddling. They think they're enjoying themselves, but all they're doing is twizzling their vain little heads. The world isn't amusing anymore. It's time I left it. Fabulous evenings I've known in my time. That's what living used to be. Ah, those were the days. We used to live it up.
Yes, of course, but one doesn't know. Really, one doesn't. Romantic things may be going on at this very moment.
At this ball, Capulet, you should go and lie down.
Perhaps so, but perhaps not so. Suppose there was a young, rich, handsome man, spellbound with love, who had smuggled his loved one into the ball. But oh, I've said too much. I promised I wouldn't say a word.
Why should I suppose there was any such person?
And as well as a young man, an old friend, a dear, dear friend given up for dead, suddenly coming back like the bluebells in May. It really is wonderful to finally take part in a fairy story.
Bluebells? Fairy story? Capulet, I don't know what you're talking about.
I've said too much. I promised I wouldn't breathe a word.
Promised whom, for heaven's sake?
It's a secret, madam. A diamond at the bottom of the mine. She loves him. He worships her. She is poor. He brings her here disguised. It really is like a fairy story, isn't it?
He? She? Who are these people?
Everyone is either asking who she is or whispering her name. She moves among them like a queen, her evening of triumph. And her mother played the treble and I played the bass all those years ago.
Capulet!
Oh, it's all too much.
Capulet, you've been my companion for 20 years. And though you've never said anything that amused me, I've always been able to understand you. At last, you interest me, and I can't understand a word. Either you explain yourself, or you leave my service.
I promised I wouldn't breathe a word. I'd rather die in poverty. I'd rather you kill me.
I wouldn't dream of it. As to being obeyed without having to kill people. And you know I always give you my own clothes. Don't I deserve a little consideration?
I know. I'm being nearly torn apart by the two duties. Oh, such friends we were. We both played on the same piano. Such happy days. I thought she was dead, but she has come back to me. She said she had prayed for the orchestra, but they were all men. I was astonished. Then she confided to me and swore me to secrecy of the mad love between her daughter and a young man, and the stratagem of a good, kind friend.
What good kind of friend?
Sir Guy Charles Romanville. Such a good, kind man.
What has he done?
His niece, madam, is not his niece. Love snaps his fingers. Someone who is very close to you. But oh, I've said too much. I promise I wouldn't.
Promised whom?
My dear, sweet friend, on the days of our duets. So better to die. Oh, madam, the violins are like strong wine to me.
So I've noticed, mon ami. Push me off to my room where I shan't hear them and tell me the rest of it.
Oh, you're so good. A word from you and all the obstacles will evaporate.
Well, we'll see about that. Try looking off and explain things. You were saying that Romanville's niece
Is not his niece, madam.
Hawthorne.
He wanted her to be the belle of the ball. So
My
he had
nephew?
dress brought from
Which
Paris.
nephew, Frederick? Out with his cabinet.
No, madam, Mr. Hugo. Well, oh, I've said too much. I promised I wouldn't break a word.
They've put me in a room looking out on the park, facing direct north. It's most unkind. And they moved all of my things to the middle of the afternoon without telling me. They said they couldn't find me. They're not going to make me believe that. They couldn't find me because they didn't want to find me.
Then who has got your room?
Romainville's niece, the girl with the lovely eyes. But that is the only excuse. The real reason is that he saw us together yesterday, and he wants to have me further away from your room.
Nonsense. You would have to explain it all to my aunt. You mustn't be idiotic. And how do you know she has lovely eyes?
Who, dear heart?
This niece of Romainville's?
Have I said so?
Now be careful, Patrice. I don't like competitors. And if Messerschmitt has seen us together and does feel like training you, I quite understand. Frankly, I'd be very disappointed if you didn't. Don't you agree?
Well, I suppose. I don't know. I suppose so.
I may deceive Messerschmitt, but I like to think well of him. The man that I love must be noble and courageous. And the man that I deceive must be noble and courageous too. It gives life a kind of dignity which is most pleasing. Surely you, Patrice, so high and susceptible, would be very disappointed if you didn't give a savage cry of uncontrollable jealousy.
Well, Dorothy...
Exactly. Men of your caliber wouldn't want a woman who wasn't fiercely loved already. Creatures such as ourselves have no patience with the lukewarm. We blaze. Others may be born to live, but we're on earth to blaze.
Yes, Dorothy.
And suppose he does ruin us, what fun it would be to be poor. As long as one was excessively poor. Anything in excess is most exhilarating.
Yes, Dorothy.
A swallow would seem like a great dark poem, wouldn't it, Patrice?
Very dark.
How amusing it should be. I would wash the dishes and clean the flues. Whatever that means. And bake and brew. How beautifully I should brew. I must ask Rosetta Sirs to make me some affecting aprons. There's no one else, you know, who quite so well understands my style. What miracles she'll work with a scrap of muslin and a ruche. And I shall set to work with my tiny dustpan and my tiny broom, and you'll work in a factory. You will come home in the evening nearly dead with fatigue and smelling dreadfully. It will be absolutely delicious. And I shall wash you down, my dear, from head to foot with a tiny sponge. It's beautiful looking poor Patrice.
Beautiful?
So let him come. What is he waiting for? His money is burning my fingertips. I shall give it all back immediately. Everything except the pearls.
Do be careful. He's here. Do be careful.
Don't be such a coward.
I don't like you. I've never liked you. I'm never likely to like you. I'm only with you out of sheer necessity. It's quite obvious you bore me. Anyone can see that I'm yawning.
Don't dare to yawn, Patrice. Take my hand. Let's go up, dancing as ostentatiously as possible.
You're crazy.
When the bull is drowsy, he wants to mix up with the bandilla. Have you ever seen a bull like, dear friend?
Yes, dear friend, but I didn't like it.
Hold your head. Don't look as though you see me. You knows him.
Yes, but perhaps he doesn't know. Don't you think that by seeming to know we know he knows, we run the risk of making him know?
Sir, those two people walking along the terrace there, they'd be heading for the greenhouse, I suppose.
Yes, I suppose so, sir. Would you like to place your order for supper, sir?
Noodles.
Without butter, sir?
And without salt.
Very good, sir.
Tell me, my friend.
Sir,
If I go down those steps, I get to the greenhouse to the orchard, do I not?
yes, sir, you do. But if you are hoping to catch the young lady and gentleman, sir, I take the liberty of saying I've been watching the young lady and gentleman while you're placing your order for supper, sir. The young lady and gentleman have gone inside, by the small door at the end of the terrace. The young lady and gentleman have gone upstairs, by the little staircase.
I see.
No doubt the young lady and gentleman wish to tidy their persons, as it were.
No doubt, yes. Thank you.
Without butter, sir.
And without salt.
I do hope you'll forgive me.
For what, mademoiselle?
I must appear to be following you. I happened to come in here and found you were here before me.
Yes, of course.
I'm enjoying myself very much.
Yes, it's splendid. That's a very pretty dress you're wearing.
Yes, it is. Do you believe in them, I wonder?
Believe in them?
In ghosts.
A little. Why?
You look as though you might be your brother's ghost. Made very sad by something.
That's what I am.
You're young, you're handsome, and you're rich. What can possibly have made you so sad?
Being handsome, as you call it, and nothing to be gained by it. Will you excuse me if I leave you now?
Of course.
That was perfect. Excellent.
He's going to wonder why I'm always at his elbow, and why I keep trying to speak to him.
That's just what I want.
I can't do it anymore.
It's not yet past midnight, and you have a duty until dawn. Up you get. You're a kindly creature. This is a kindly action you're doing. I can promise you won't regret it. That's right. Look at the trousers you're looking at me now. You're an astonishing actress. Where did you learn that look of deep regard?
It is my own.
Very good. Turn on Frederick from now until morning. You couldn't help being moved by it.
It may be different when it turns on him.
Well, something the same mind will do, dear little brother. He's not used to being given pretty looks. Look out, it's coming back. Compose yourself and use your imagination. I shall be listening. My brother was looking for you just now.
Oh, was he?
Usually when my brother's looking for a girl, she knows it.
Oh, I don't know.
He's very good looking, don't you think?
Yes, very.
Where is it like these two blades of grass? But it's only men who get us confused. Women always know which is my brother. How do they do it?
I don't know.
It's because he doesn't look at them, maybe. That's a very pretty dress you're wearing.
Thank you. He's not only good looking.
Who?
Your brother.
Oh, no, he's very intelligent. Much more intelligent than I am. Completely fearless, too. Always ready to shoot the rapids or put his hand in the fire. But there's one thing he couldn't ever do. Not every day, for any length of time. He couldn't be in love. That's why they love him, perhaps. He's very hard. But he's also very kind.
He's very fond of you. He wouldn't like to see you hurt.
No, it would irritate me. It's not so much that he's fond of me. It just annoys him to see me unhappy. He hates seeing people unhappy, particularly unhappy in love. Honestly, he is looking for you. If I come across him in my search, shall I tell him where you are?
No, really, thank you. But don't.
He's good company, much more so than I am.
I like being with you. Please stay.
Oh, how sad it all is.
How sad all that is.
I'm sorry. What I'm going to say isn't very polite. I don't mean to be impolite. I don't want to be impolite. But if the girl I've been searching for so unsuccessfully had said what you had just said, that girl might have died of happiness.
Well, then it's as well that it was I who said it, and it wasn't in the least impolite. I know how you feel all too well.
Thank you for understanding, but forgive me nevertheless. Forgive me for leaving you now.
Certainly.
Goodbye. No, that's not what I want. Smiling and hinting that you'd rather be with someone else. You paint active part, my dear, so act it, and without being ashamed of it. This is a serious job you're doing, and you should try to do it well.
Oh, please don't go on.
Why?
If you went on speaking to me in that voice, I should cry.
That would really be excellent. I wouldn't have suggested it myself. Manufactured tears are always a bit grotesque. But if you cried, naturally excellent.
Why haven't you a heart?
Because my brother has too much. We were born at the same time. Things were divided between us. This man to him, a heart to me.
But you must be able to see that I am unhappy.
Superbly. You have a way of being unhappy that would fetch tears out of a rock. Have you a twin sister by any chance? Without a heart? Good. Tell my brothers don't swim away within a flood of sympathy. Just what I want.
You don't suppose I'm doing what I'm told this evening for the sake of this dress and a fee for dancing?
My pretty one, I thought nothing so unpleasant.
I'm not interested in your brother, or in curing him, or in looking well dressed, or in being looked at by everybody. I've been looked at by men before, and I wasn't even well dressed. Do you find that amusing?
Let yourself go, my dear. Don't fight back the tears anymore. Cry, cry, cry. That's right.
How very clever of me. Now my eyes will be all red.
Superb. Ah, Isabel. Dear Isabel. I suffer too. I die.
What are you doing?
Look out, it's coming back. My heart is overflowing. I'm drowning in it. A heart in full flood.
This is dreadful.
Is he coming towards us?
Yes, oh please get up.
I want him to find me at your feet. Dearly beloved, how clearly I see. Somewhere in heaven you were fashioned for me. Angel Angel voices that my brother kissed you. Usually when my brother kisses a girl, he's blushing and dancing with fire. But you're pale and you're crying.
Yes?
I'm sorry. Perhaps you went away because you saw me coming.
No.
Don't be unhappy. One unhappy person at a party is enough. I don't know how it is, but you'd kill me if you are unhappy too.
Please let me alone.
I know it's no consolation to hear other people's troubles, but it's something I've been almost certain of since yesterday. She's only engaged to me because she couldn't be engaged to my brother. She said to herself, if I can't have the water, I'll take his stone.
If that were true, it would be shameful.
No, quite lucky really, or else she wouldn't have chosen me at all. If my brother was naughty, and governess couldn't find him, she would punish me. I was a sort of alternative. Life only comes to me absent-mindedly.
You as well?
How can you say you as well? You can't know what it's like. I don't mean to pay an empty compliment. This is hardly the time. Well, anyone can mistake you for somebody else.
It wasn't because of your brother that I was crying.
No?
It was because of you.
Because of me?
Yes, Frederick. It's you I love.
Oh! Very good. That's the first time anyone's ever told me they loved him before. Look, way to walk. Quite a swag. Now, let's make things a little personal. A pinch of jealousy about the blood's on the sleeve. Third young man is in love with you.
What young man?
That's my business. I'll find one. If you're innocent, I never leave your side. Your challenges me to fight. And the truth on my weapons.
You're mad!
Imagine it. Controlled by moonlight and swing. Suddenly disrupted by pistol shot. They stopped the orchestra. And all trooped in the front. Very hands. To look like a corpse. Then you went crazy with love. You thoroughly understand you're crazy with love, don't you? You jump into the lake. Swim, I imagine? Well, it's no matter. I shall be there, and I shall fish you out. Drag you back to land and lay you streaming on the grass at my brother's feet, and say to him, Frederick, it's you who did this. If he doesn't love you then, he's got more resistance than I have. You're looking rather dubious. Don't you enjoy bathing? I'll show you your feet. I'll buy you another dress. Agree to do it to please me. I'm enjoying myself so much this evening. It's not often that I do.
Oh! Frederick?
Hugo, if you please.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
I'm not blushing. Hugo doesn't blush. Remember that. It may come in useful in the future.
I thought it was Frederick with that girl in his arms. As it was you, it's different. I apologize. Have you seen him?
Yes, of course. Everyone's seen him. He wanders through this desert of gaiety like his soul in pain. Why? Are you wanting to satisfy yourself that you've well and truly broken his heart this evening?
I don't want to break anyone's heart. It wouldn't amuse me at all. By the way, when I was in the park yesterday, what did he kiss me? And Frederick swears it wasn't him. I lied, so he shouldn't be upset, but it must have been you. It's the kind of joke I detest.
Yesterday, in the park. At what time?
After dinner, Hugo. Don't pretend not to remember.
After dinner. Ah, yes. I was playing billiards with the tree smoke bells.
Frederick swears it wasn't him.
I suppose it must have been some other son of Adam, taking the most of some vague resemblance to us.
You're wrong to let your brother's feelings, Hugo. Even if you love me, even if your love for me were too strong to control. But it isn't too strong to control, is it?
You put me in an impossible situation, Diana. I'm obliged to say no.
I hate you!
You as well. It seems I'm not very popular this evening. By the way, have you seen the tree smoke bells? I gather he's looking for me. It seems he didn't take very kindly to finding me in that girl's arms. It's funny. I should have known. He seems to be mad about her. Then, of course, everyone seems to be. Do admit she's enchanting. You're wearing a beautiful dress, moreover. Don't you find it so? Well, shall I send Frederick to you?
Thank you very much. I'll find him myself. Father! Father!
Well, dear?
Did you hear him? Did you hear how he was mocking me?
No, I didn't.
Really, things are going so wrong. You'd think we had no money at all. So please set about making me happy again at once.
But what does it matter, my darling girl? You said you wanted this boy Frederick, and so I bought him for you.
You didn't buy him for me. He loves me, and his brother's laughing at me.
I can't give you both. Not because I'm not rich enough, but because marry whichever you prefer.
You're not rich enough to buy me one I prefer. That's why I took the other.
Not rich enough? Don't put me in a rage.
Well, look what's happening to me. And it's Hugo who's making it happen. Deliberately, I'm certain. I'm certain he brought this girl here, and she's trying to make Frederick lose interest in me. And Hugo, who never looks at anyone, the cold and personal Hugo, never takes his eyes off her. I should begin to think I wasn't there, except for that everyone has such an air of not looking at me that I know I must be. It's bad enough not to be looked at as though you weren't there, but it's terrible, terrible not to be looked at as though you were. So please set about making me happy.
Who is this girl? I can do almost nothing with the young girl.
She's Romainville's niece.
Which is Romainville?
He's the one who looks as though he's gone on a horse to catch butterflies.
But where does his money seem to come from?
He's company director like all the rest of the men.
But what does he seem to be in? Steel, cement, potash, sulfate, zinc, aluminum, nuts, creosote, nickel, emulsion, tillet, bijouterie, sillination, tunnel.
I think he said something about pig iron.
Pig iron? Lead me to him. What would you like me to have him do, my darling girl? Would you like me to have him send her away at the height of the ball?
Oh, do you think you can?
I've got them all on the palm of my hand. I lift a finger, and their incomes are only half as much.
I'm afraid it's impossible.
If he has a hay-penny pig iron, nothing is impossible, my darling girl.
Sir,
Sir?
I was looking for you.
For me?
Yes, I must speak with you. About what? You were in the park yesterday, I believe, with my cousin, the Lady Dorothy India.
Possibly.
Yes, well, you seem to be having a rather heated discussion.
On quite general matters, if I remember.
Yes, I'm sure. But at one point you must have out-generaled yourself. The lady slapped your face.
Mine, sir?
Yes, this one.
You're mistaken, sir.
No, sir.
That is to say, she may have struck me,